Okay, Simon Shazelian here, and I put out that video today about the Sean Ryan Psyop. I got loads of questions saying, "What's a Psyop?" All right, so let's just cover this so at least people can understand what's going on. So a Psyop is a psychological operation, and it's used as a strategy by intelligence services around the world to psychologically disarm the enemy, or erode their will to fight, or to subvert the populace. Okay, there's a number of different strategies that you would use in order to do that. So, from the very start of it, it was things like, poisoning the water, or you're dropping leaflets by air, propaganda speakers in no man's land, this type of thing. But essentially, with a psychological operation, you begin with the end in mind. You look at things in regards to how do we want this to end up, and then you work backwards to actually create a plan to subvert the will of the opponents to be able to engage in warfare. That's essentially what a psyop is. Psychological operations have been made into a bit of an art form by the Americans and the British, and essentially they create a narrative, and people begin to believe it. And for that, you need a big propaganda arm behind you. The Yazis in Germany used to do this really, really well. And essentially, you make people believe that something that is not true is actually true. And they did that with a certain race, the Jews, during World War II, and made everyone believe that they were the problem. Right now, we're seeing this in a number of areas, because the game plan of this particular psyop is to put people into fear just before there's an inauguration. So it's almost like the will of the people is being subverted, and they're being punished because they elected the wrong person. So if you saw the way that the media worked, certainly in the last election, you went from the most unpopular vice president of all time, with the lowest approval rating, having had no successes in anything that person did for 4 years. All of a sudden, they're the great hope, and they're the one that's going to lead the country and solve the world problems. But a lot of people bought into that because of the media narrative. That was a psychological operation. The good thing is that no one bought into it, and that's why you had such a clear backlash from the American people, and that's where we are right now. So the institutions that would most either benefit or that would most be harmed by a psychological operation, that's what you got to look at. Who basically gets more out of it? So right now, it looks like 3 major problems are going to go away with the Trump presidency. The first one is going to be Ukraine. Okay, so he's already said day one going to be solved. Putin's going to come to the table. They will find a way to be able to bring peace in Ukraine. It's going to be a bartered peace, but that means that all of the potential washing of money, let's put it that way, and big corporations are going to lose out. That's number one. The second one is Iran. Okay, so we've already seen that Iran, far from being the major problem, is actually going to be a peaceful solution in the Middle East. That doesn't bode well for some big companies and big institutions who want more war, because war is profitable. And then the third one is China. It's our major trading partner, and yet it's been named as a foreign adversary for TikTok. I mean, it's like, what? Anyway, so you're going to see that Mr. T has got strategies for all of these things. What that will do is highlight the weakness of the previous administration, and it will show people beyond any measure of any doubt whatsoever that they've been lied to for over 4 years. That is what's going to happen. The backlash will probably put the GOP into power for a generation. That is what is likely to happen. So the institutions do not want Mr. T to have a win. So they're creating this psychological operation. They're doing it with fog. They're doing it with drones. They're distracting you all over the place so that the narrative is one of fear. The narrative is one of, oh my God, China's going to go to war with us. And of course, all the defense companies are going, we got a solution for that. Put more money into defense, buy more missiles, buy more submarines. That's what they want, okay? And, you know, all this nonsense about tariffs. We've always had tariffs. China has always had tariffs. You're not going to be paying more. You're just going to be producing more at home. Because guess what? If you produce goods at home, you don't get tariffs. I mean, duh. So you're going to see all of this nonsense carrying on for some while. You know, and especially when you start bringing in special forces guys. And you've got to remember, right? Any special forces guy, and I put myself in this as well, I've had videos taken down for far less than what Sean Ryan did, okay? When they were talking about the drones and what they were spraying, I gave that solution. I was taken down within like 20 minutes. We had 1,000 views, bang, took it down. And the same with Syria, because I know what's going on. So they're not going to let something so damning as the Sean Ryan podcast stand if it's real. You know, they just don't do that. I mean, and if you think that the three-letter agencies and the institutions can't pick up the phone to platforms and say, we need you to take this down, they take it down, and they've done it for the last 4 years substantially. But instead of just national security over the last 4 years, it's anything that went against those institutions. We're still in that game, and we're going to be in that game until January, mid-January. So a psychological operation is being undertaken right now, is to make you believe and to be fearful of another country, and it's going to induce you to make decisions in regards to how you spend things, how you move around the country, whether you're locked down because of an incident or whatever it may be, or a big P, you know, any of these things. Okay, so you've just got to be aware that the media are in on it. The media are the propaganda arm of the institutions, and people are waking up to that now. And you just got to be aware that life is one big psyop, because all they're trying to do is to get you to behave in a certain way, to believe in certain things, and to stop you thinking and saying things that are unpopular with one certain group within society. That is what happens with psyops. So it's the old, you know, problem, reaction, solution thing. You've heard it a million times. But, you know, more people are waking up. No one's going to believe a lot of these psyops now, so please don't. But that's what a psychological operation is. I know I've gone on a little bit, but I just wanted to feed that in. Just so, because I want everyone to be aware of what these things happen. They can identify them as soon as they happen. And if it's on 5 different news channels all at the same time speaking about the same thing, guess what? That is a psyop. Because someone somewhere has gone, this is a good one, and they put it out as a release to all of the same outlets, using the same terminology, same language. I mean, really, I think they need to get some brighter people doing this. But that's me. So I'm Giselian. Let's see if this stays up. All right, guys, love you lots. Take care. So I'm Giselian, out to you.